I've had the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra since it was released back in January 2024, and that's just what, a few months shy of 2 years now. Up to the publication of this video. Let's see how it's fared in that time. And here is the star of the show, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra in its full glory. And the first thing you'll notice about this device is that it is a big phone. Yeah, it is a big unit. But what's actually surprising is for such a big phone, if you put this in your rear trouser pants pocket, it's not uncomfortable at all. And for some of my rear pants or trouser pockets, it fits in quite comfortably. No issues at all, again, for such a big phone. But if you're to put this in your shorts pocket and go for a run, then you're going to have a problem. Yeah, your shorts will sag, and passers-by may have a very unsightly sight. Now, for such a big phone, you think weight was an issue, but it's not. It's the weight is evenly distributed. I have phones that are heavier than this, and even the size of those phones, they're slightly smaller but heavier than this. But this, for the weight, no issues again from that point of view. So that's excellent, because of the titanium build. And then obviously you've got glass on the front there, and with the glass you do have anti-glare coating on there. Now you may not notice comparing it standalone, especially when you're outdoors or with light, but if you put it against another device, then you will see the anti-glare coating. So again, really nice touch from Samsung. Obviously the back here is not a fingerprint magnet, and I also like the fact that the vertical camera setup on the back here, yeah, looks really nice. Yeah, there's talk of lack of innovation from the likes of Samsung, Apple, Google, etc., but their philosophy may be, if it's not broke, do not fix it. But yeah, I do like this vertical camera setup, really nice. Yeah. So the other thing that I really like about this device as well is the button configuration. Again, really smooth, really elegant, as you can see. Now, if you see, that's it. You don't have too many buttons. Whereas you've got the iPhone, I think it was from the 16 onwards, you have the camera control button, you have other things. And I don't know, I just feel that it's overkill in terms of the button configurations. You know, you've got action button, camera control button, on, off, and so forth. It's just for there's too many buttons. And as a result of that, you can easily be pressing the wrong buttons when the phone is in your pocket or bag or something. So again, I understand where Apple are going, but yeah, this is just elegant. You know, what's the saying? Less is more, and this demonstrates it perfectly. All right. So again, at the bottom here, really simple. You got the SIM tray. It does take 2 nano SIMs, and you can also add an eSIM. You've got Type-C charging port, and then you got a speaker, and then we got the S Pen. I'll talk about that a little later. And at the top here, so you got the antenna lines, and then at the top there, yeah, it's pretty much, I'm sure that's like a microphone or an earpiece there, but you don't get a secondary speaker on the top here. The second speaker at the top here is actually embedded in there. You can barely see it with the naked eye. But together they produce really good sound quality. If you're someone that does not like curved displays, you'll be pleased to note that this device does have a flat edge-to-edge display. There's no denying that the S24 Ultra is a colossus of a phone, and you can pick it up on the second-hand market from the likes of Amazon, eBay, Swapper, etc. for a really good price. Whereas if, like myself, you bought it as soon as it was released, you can lose up to 40% of the value within the first year. Ouch. When this device was released, one of the big talking points was the fact that because you have these squared off edges, and as a result, when you have it in the palm of your hand, it digs in and it can be uncomfortable. Now, You've got a number of options of getting around that, and to be fair, I've never had an issue with it. One, you can either just hold it down like so, or you can buy a case where it's rounded. That will solve the problem, but as I said, no issues for me. It did come with 7 years of software and security patches when the device was launched, but up until the publication of this video, you still get 5 years of software and security patch updates, meaning the device is future proof. This device does feel like having a mini television in your hand. It has great picture quality, even for video here. Sound is excellent, comes out evenly, both sides. Look at that. This is class. The other thing you can do is just press down on the video and look at that. It slows it right down to 120 frames per second. This is so cool. And if you just take your finger off, tap on here, you can save that as a slow motion. This, I have to say, is pretty sick. The signature feature with the S24 Ultra is the S Pen. And I've got to say, I've been a fan of it ever since the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. I use it religiously every day for general tasks, editing videos, just navigating around the device. It is excellent. And also, I can use it for signing documents. That is so sick. Now, as an example, say I'm at home or out and about, and I need to make a quick shopping list. So as you can see, the device is switched off, even though you can see the always on display. So what I do, just pull the pen out of there, and you did hear that little sound. You do have the ability to go in the good lock, add some settings. So every time you remove the pen, makes a sound, and the same when you insert the pen. I'm not going to insert the pen back in because I've got a song and I will get a copyright strike. So here we go. So let's say, for instance, I want to go to Target. Okay. So I know that when I go to Target, I want to get the following items. So let's say I want to get some milk. Yeah. Eggs. Flour. Look at that. Maybe I want to make some pancakes or so forth. But at the same time, I want to go to a different store and look at this. I can change this up. And let's say I want to go to Home Depot. So Home Depot, that's for DIY. So maybe I want to get do some decorating. So I want to get some paint. Yeah. Get some brushes. Look at this. And I also want to get some flowers. Decorate the outside of the house. Okay. That is so sick. And again, choose another color, and then maybe I just want to make sure I want to get some, I don't know, so I've got to go to the post office and I've got to send a letter. Okay. Look at that. That is so sick. And then once I'm done, okay, just tap on save there. I'll insert the pen back in the housing unit. Again, I won't do that, otherwise you'll hear the music and I'll get a copyright strike, and I'm on my merry way. That is so sick. The other cool thing you can do with the S Pen is, if I just hover over here, you'll see the air command there. And if I select that, look at this. I can use it to create a note. I select anything, screen write, and with that screen write, I can tweak things further, draw, write, choice of pens, etc., and choose to save it or send it. I can magnify something if it's too small, write on calendar, translate, drawing assist, and if you want, you can add other shortcuts to this or remove them. This is really fantastic. Let's have a quick look through the camera app so you can see what you get. Yeah, and obviously for a flagship device, you pretty much get everything. If you're a budding photographer, yeah, this one is right up there for you. So you got portrait, photo, also in photo. Look at that up the top there. Near the middle it says 12 megapixels. So if you want to change lens, look at that. You can change to the 50 and the 200 megapixel. By default, it stays on 12 to save on space. And then if you just tap on this A here, look at that. You've got watermark off. and look at that watermark on. And you can go in the settings and tweak how you would like the watermark to appear. So maybe left, right alignments, whether you want to give it a name, date, time, etc. Really customizable. Cover that in a separate video on my channel. Here I have the watermark for the Oppo Find N2 here. And if I play the video, look at this. We get the watermark on a video. Now, it would be nice if Samsung could also have this, not just on their photos, but also on their videos too. Okay, so moving on swiftly, obviously you got your night. Go to video here, and obviously you can shoot video with the front and rear facing cameras at a 4K 60 frames per second. Okay, let's just quickly go in here, look at that. So yeah, they said Ultra HD, which is 4K 60 frames per second. And then if I just tap on it again, and then if you want, I think you can select 8K 30 with the rear facing camera. And if I just turn that around, I don't believe you have that option. Correct, you don't have 8K recording on the front facing camera. And then just at the top there, you'll see that that's the Samsung's version. Well, I used the third party app to get the dynamic island. Again, made a separate video on that on my channel. Really good. So you do have the dynamic island also on the Samsung Galaxy devices. This is really cool. All right, so let's move along. So if we're going to the more here, look at these. You've got these further options there. Look at that. Pro video, panorama, hyperlapse, dual recording, expert raw, etc. Whilst we're here, let me show you a few things you can do within the Pro video. So if I just go in here now, and I've got to tell you, there was a feature that's added in here that was not originally on the S24 Ultra when I purchased it. It came with a recent update. I think with One UI 7 or 8, something like that. Yeah, I'm just One UI 8. And if you look on the top right there, look at that. You can now record in log. This feature was not there when I originally purchased the device. It's been a recent addition. So I'm really pleased that Samsung have included this. It is excellent. And basically, if you're not familiar with log, when you select the log and then you record it, looks a bit grayish and misty. You think, oh, this doesn't look right. But afterwards, you can go and change the color grading and you can get a really good cinematic effect. So if you haven't tried log, yeah, highly recommend playing around with that. Really good feature. Again, an extra addition that was not there when this device was released back in 2024. So that's really nice. Pleased about that. Okay, and then obviously you can go into the settings and you can make a number of other changes as well. And if my memory serves me correctly, if I just tap on here, look at this. I can even play around with the microphones. I can have it omnidirectional, front or back. A few other cool things you can do with the camera app. So let's just quickly scroll along, go to the more section. Then I'm going to select the Pro Video. And then once we're in here, just go to the top there. Here, look at this. You can record 4K up to 120 frames per second. That's effectively slow motion. The other thing you can do is go back into the more section and we'll select dual record. Okay. And as you can see, look, we've got split screen view here. Look at that. Pretty neat. And if we just tap on here, watch this. Look, I can select any two lenses of my choice. I'll leave them as they are. Just tap on OK. And if I just tap on here, select that one, look at this. So I can have picture in picture, something that Apple has only introduced on the iPhone 17 range, but we've had it on Android for many years. Again, I can have this anywhere that I want. I'll leave it there for now. And what's also cool is if I select this option here, it says save video as previewed. So it will save the video like this. But if I select that option again, look, save video. Let me select that again. Okay, here we go. Save videos in separate files. So what it will do is it will record this as it is, but it will save it as 2 separate files. What other phone can do this? Rather than keep telling you how good the cameras are on the S24 Ultra, let me show you some sample photos and videos taken with the device. And remember, none of them have been doctored pre or post production, because it requires more work. Feature that is missing on this device, which I would love to see on future Ultra series, and it certainly appears on this device here. This is the Xiaomi Redmi K70 Pro, and the feature that I'm talking about can be found right here in the camera app. And if I go into video here and then just select this drop down arrow, look at that, get these options here. So the one that I would love to see on the future Ultra device is the teleprompter on the left there. So if I select it, excuse me, I cannot tell you how useful this is. I'm a content creator. I'm always doing pieces to camera. You'll see that in my outdoor shots. If I can have bullet points and so forth, it will be most helpful. And then with this, you can drop files into here, press play here, and then I can be reading. And the other great thing is if you look closely, as the line goes up, you'll see that it illuminates. So after where it says video there, so you see the next line, look at that, how teleprompter works. You can see it illuminates. That can help one focus. Look at this. This is how it should be done. So if anyone from Samsung is watching, yeah, let's have a native teleprompter on future Ultra series. If Xiaomi can do it, I see no reason why Samsung cannot do it. And the great thing with this feature is that it's also the same with the front-facing camera. So if I go here, look at that teleprompter, press play, look at that. That is superb. With the the release of the S25 Ultra, one of the things that Samsung did, which annoyed a lot of people like myself, and that is the fact that they removed the Bluetooth functionality on the S Pen. Apparently, based on their survey, only 2% of people use the S Pen. Look, there's the dynamic island. Look at that in action. So based on the survey, less than 2 people use the S Pen. So they removed the Bluetooth functionality. But what I can't understand is that as a result of removing that, we never got anything in return. We never got, for example, maybe an IR blaster or more space for battery or vapor chamber, more space for vapor chamber, etc. So to me, that's not a good calculated risk. And also, what that tells me is if less than 2 people of the survey actually use the S Pen, does that mean that it's not going to be long before we don't see the S Pen at all on the device? That is going to be a scary thought, because this S Pen is the signature of what used to be the Note and is now the Ultra series. So if Samsung continue down that route, they could run into a cul-de-sac. So with the Bluetooth functionality, what it allows you to do, so for example, I could put this down, stand back, take some photos of some friends, but I can use the pen. Just press the button here, repeatedly take as many photos as I can. I can use it to start a video. I can be watching YouTube in bed with the device there, not touching it, and I can, with the S Pen, I can flick to the next video, I can go back, I can increase, decrease the volume on this pen. Until you use it, you will never understand how powerful a tool it is. It's not a gimmick at all. And then if I just hover over here, look at that. So look, these are the interactions it can perform. So this may be a good reason for you to purchase the S24 Ultra. I'm certainly not giving up my S24 Ultra anytime soon. When it comes to AI, Samsung have nailed it to the T. So if I just quickly go in the settings here, and then I go into Galaxy AI, look at this. You get the full suite of AI options here. Oh, look at that. You got Call Assist, great for translation, and followed by, look at that, Writing Assist. So again, you can compose, organize messages, etc. You got Interpreter, excellent. And quite a few of these AI features I've covered in bite-sized videos on my channel. Notice this, I'm sure I've done this one as well, so I won't go into the details, but you get the gist. Look at that. Transcript this is as well. So if you make recordings, you can have it summarized and have it produce notes. Look at that. Browsing assist, so summarize web pages, translate text, images, etc. Photo assist, look at this. Drawing assist. Audio eraser, another really good feature. I really like this one, especially as a content creator. You're out there in the field, you want to record, there's a lot of background noise. You can record it and then you can filter out the noise later. And also really good because sometimes there's music, and I know that music, if it's in my video, I'm going to get a copyright strike, but later I can remove that. So look at that, photo ambient wallpaper, recent edition, now brief, look at that, health assist, etc. I think Apple needs to follow the lead of Samsung right here. You also have other popular AI features such as Circle to Search, Sketch to Image, and Portrait Studio. And I've covered all of these in bite-sized videos on my channel. As a tech content creator, I have used softwares on different phones, including the iPhones. And I can tell you, nothing matches the One UI on Samsung Galaxy phones. The level of customization on Samsung phones on this device is ridiculous. I could spend at least 1 hour just talking about it, but don't worry, I won't put you through that pain. You can change wallpapers, have different styles, font styles, you've got colors, you've got, if I go into the wallpapers, so if I go into themes here, you can have different themes. You have paid and free ones. And if I go to wallpapers, look at this, same again. You've got so many at your disposal. Again, you got free and paid ones as well. You also have live wallpapers. Look at this video, lock screen. Oh, icons. Look at this. You can have them any style you like. The possibilities are endless. This is incredible. And then if you go to always on display, look at this. You can have all types that suit you. Again, you've got free and paid for options. You can also go into the Good Lock app here and customize things even further. So look at that. You've got Pentastic, and that's where you take the pen out. And look at that. You can have a sound, and then when you insert it back in, you can have a sound. I got a song when I put the pen back in. I won't do that, otherwise it will get a copyright strike. Look at this lock star, so you can create new lock screens, always on display. Edge Lighting Plus. I've covered some of these in bite-sized videos on my channel. So with that Edge Lighting Plus, what it will do is you can have different types of icons, or you can have the color of the app appear on full display on your device. So what's so good about it is that if you leave this, say you're lying in bed, you get a WhatsApp message, you can see it coming through without having to touch your device. That's really cool. Again, registrar, look at this, theme parks, all sorts. So yeah, the level of customization on this device, it really is second to none. With the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, it can handle anything you throw at it, whether it's gaming, something I don't do, using the cameras, binge watching, it will handle it. And as a result, the phone can last all day with medium to heavy use. And again, if you're going to be gaming or use the cameras constantly, then that will be significantly reduced. The biometrics on the device are really good. Although I will say that the face unlock is somewhat slow, especially for a flagship device. And that's definitely an area for Samsung to improve on. And just to prove my point, I have Chinese phones, I have Apple phones, even the basic iPhone, say 16, the biometrics, especially the face unlock, is super fast. Charging the phone is really slow and it can take well over an hour. And I've got to say, in today's phone market, you've got Chinese brands where they're offering 60 watts, 85 watts, 100 watts, or even 120 watt charging, meaning you can charge your device from 0 to 100% in less than 30 minutes. Just to wrap up this video, this device is packed with a lot of features, some which I've highlighted, and you've got other things such as Samsung DeX, and that's where you can transport whatever you're doing on your device onto a monitor, giving you more room. And of course, you can use the device as a trackpad. And also, whilst you're doing whatever you're doing on the monitor, you can also use your device at the same time. You also have the secure folder. What that allows you to do is to keep apps and documents and files and so forth in a folder away from prying eyes, which is really good. Phone quality on this device is really good. Again, coming up to 2 years. No issues in terms of call quality. People at the other end can hear me clearly and vice versa. You have a 5000 milliamp battery in here. And when it comes to the ecosystem, yeah, you have things like quick share. So if you want to share things across different devices, again, such as maybe laptop, phone, tablet, smartwatch, monitor, etc., you can do that comfortably. So basically, you will not regret buying this phone. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. My name is Shola. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Ciao.